tiempos. Ciruelo, ojo de culebra, tu frente que en el rostro porta tus penas.
Aliviame de la mala palabra, la sombra de tu pensamiento, tu labio.
Good evening, buenas tardes. Bienvenidas, bienvenidos a Mujeres con falda de serpientes y talones de águila. Welcome. My name is Martina Ayala, and I am the curator for Women with Serpent Skirts and Eagle Talons. This is a historic show for me. This is a traveling exhibit that incorporates 50 nepantleras and nepantleros, 50 artists from the United States and Mexico. We hope to take this show on the road. After San Francisco, who knows what's in the horizon, but every time that we present the show grows and expands our consciousness and allows nepantleras and nepantleros to make their statement, very important statements about being a woman in this society. And this show was inspired by Gloria Anzaldúa. She is a Chicana scholar, feminist, queer, artist, writer. It is her writings that inspired this show. The definition that she expanded from Portillo of Nepantla, which means the threshold people, in the middle, intermediarios. Porque en Nepantla vive todo el mundo. Es el lugar gris, el lugar que no se puede definir. Nepantla soy yo soy chicana. Algunos me dicen pocha, pero yo soy orgullosamente chicana, mexicana y americana, y también tengo rasgos europeos y africanos, y indígenas. Muy orgullosa de todo eso. No tenemos que dar explicaciones de quiénes somos, porque simplemente lo somos. Y esta exhibición da expresión, da una oportunidad a que todas las personas tengan un espacio para ser, sin ser juzgados. This show allows all of the people in the threshold, all of the in-between people that don't fit into any one category, the opportunity to express themselves and to simply be unapologetically. And for that I thank Gloria Anzaldúa, en paz descanse, may she rest in power. Her writings continue to inspire us, and we hope that this show will pique your curiosity and that it'll invite, I want to invite the younger generations to explore her writings, because I know that there's a lot of talk about identity and, people naming themselves. Well, Gloria Anzaldúa gave us a pretty broad paradigm that is very inclusive. Because it includes everyone. So anyways, today we are going to be looking at beautiful artwork in the gallery, but before we do that, we are going to also experience performance artists. We're going to have poetry, music, and film. The women cannot be contained in a little box, and neither can art. There are many forms of art that is multidisciplinary, and we are multifaceted women. We are extremely powerful, beautiful, and expressive, and today we celebrate our royalty. We stand in power. We are not reclaiming anything, we are power. I don't believe in the word empowerment. I always tell people that's a weak word, because we were born with power from the womb. And it is through colonization and oppression that we lose that sense of strength and self. And we need to just remember who we are and go back to the womb, go back to how we were born, beautiful, whole beings. Today I want to start out by, first of all, introducing the artists that are here with us. We have artists that have come from far away. We have Isis Rodriguez, and I'm going to ask her to come up and talk a little bit about herself and very briefly tell us what Nepantla means to her and why she's in the show. And I think she's going to set the tone for the show. And then I'll be calling up some other artists that are here in our audience before we begin the performance art. Isis.
Down the stairs at 500 peso. Does this belong to anybody? If not, I guess I have to learn. The other thing I found was an eagle talon today. And I thought of all the things for an opening show. I found this at Paxson Gate, and I was just completely shocked. Well, anyways. Well, everything that Martina has said is pretty much sums up the kind of artist that I've become today. I first discovered that word in a book called Hacienda Caras, and that was published in 1989 or 90. And it was a bunch of essays that women had wrote about what was the state of women consciousness back in those days. And the very last essay was called Torah de Dios, Chicana Consciousness. And her essay was about healing, and I totally resonated with me. And so the state that Martina has defined for the show, this goddess of life and death and rebirth, I just love that whole theme. And I have to say that word Nepantla, I have been in Nepantla for a very long time. And I say that coming out of my mother's womb, and being born half Puerto Rican and half Mexican American. And I will say that the only thing my parents had in common was the conquest. Lots of fights. Oh my goodness, I was always in the middle between them. I love them both dearly, but that's where it started. And then also being, growing up Catholic and the whole mother horse syndrome thing. But to get to the point, years later, and I discovered this writing, and back in those days I was working as I had gone to the Art Institute and I was investigating sex-positive feminism. And this particular subject matter, I was working on a thesis at the Art Institute, and it was an interesting thing, because in those days I was like, whoa, sex-positive feminism. I mean, I was always taught never to use my body, but my mind to be a feminist. And so, or to be a woman, period. And that's the way I was raised. But I investigated this by going to a strip club in San Francisco and investigating it there. And then in 1997, I had an art show called My Life as a Comic Stripper. And that was my up and coming out as a young artist. As the years went by, that kind of place defined me so much, and I decided I was going to, I needed a break. I was an activist on a lot of levels, and I ended up, well, I did a performance with Guillermo Gomez Pena, putting the mask on in a bikini, in a camouflage bikini. And I wanted to talk about exotic dancers' rights and women's rights and the right to have control over your sexuality any way you want. But after that, I kind of wanted to do an artist residency and go deeper. And I wasn't feeling very good about myself as an artist, after I came out with My Life as a Comic Stripper. So I did an artist residency in 2007 in La Cultureria in Oaxaca. And I started these masked women. That masked woman, that experience, that archetype had followed me, had haunted me. And I felt like if I'm going to go on being an artist, I really want to, I think we need to develop some new archetypes that are talking about women now. And so the kind of body that I use in my women, the fact that she's got a pasamontaña, that for me is now the modern mask that people wear, the modern mask of conflict. And the fact that I've always grown up polarized from the time I was a child to come into a place like San Francisco, which is extremely polarized, and there's a protest going on every week. At least that's how it was when I first came to San Francisco. Everybody striking, and then going to Oaxaca, which is ground zero for protests there as well. That made me wonder, what's it going to take? What's it really going to take to finally be happy? To really appreciate what you've achieved, the battles you've won and lost. At what point do you step back? And so for me, I really wanted to take that first step toward healing myself and recognizing that the things that happened in the past were a part of my development to who I am today. And so for me, I consider myself a Nepantlic artist since 2007 when I went to Oaxaca and started this new series of art, which you will see 2 paintings of the masked women. And those are from a series called Legends from the Realm of Nepantla. And I opened my gallery in San Miguel de Allende called Galleria Nepantla, so that I would have a space to talk about this very important thing about resilience and healing, especially now after Harvey Weinstein. Now we got justice, okay. Now what are we going to do with that, So it gives me great pleasure to know Martina, that she gets this. She understands the importance of talking about healing. I will continue to do Nepantlic work, conflict resolution. When you come to my shows, you will see like a giant Latin graphic novel on the walls, and there are characters that I create that are in conflict, and every painting is a step toward the solution. And so thank you so much, Martina. Thank you all for coming. This is a movement, for sure. And I'm glad that we have such a powerful curator who she's just a great example of just never saying no. I mean, she didn't allow the virus, she didn't allow the fact that there was not enough money to bring us all, but somehow she did a fundraising event to help pay for my art to get here. So thank you so much. And to all the non-plantleras and levels out there, okay?
I would like to bring up Berta Hernández, teatro callejero, poeta, social worker. Por favor, un aplauso para nuestra Berta Hernández.
Un poquito de mí, nací en la Ciudad de México, llegué a San Francisco en el 87, a la experiencia más dolorosa de mi vida, ser mojada en estas calles, y también la experiencia más extraordinaria de mi vida, encontrar la solidaridad de una comunidad que no podía haber encontrado en la Ciudad de México con esos millones de habitantes. Entonces este es mi pueblo, y me siento muy contenta de leerles mis poemas. Ahí van. ¿Qué nos hace escribir si no son nuestras memorias? ¿Qué nos hace agarrar la hoja y apuntar en ella? ¿Qué? Si no es este temblor incierto del dolor y el rencor, de los lúgubres escombros del amor perdido y de las indomables ansias de justicia. ¿Qué nos hace tocar la máquina y balbucear vocablos? Incontrolables, huecos, desfallecientes, delirantes, de estos que no pueden dejarte sereno. ¿Qué si no este despertar ante el indómito, ante el delirio asfixiante de los grandes barrancos, y allá bajo el volcán, y allá en la escuela acribillada, y allá en la Palestina bombardeada, allá donde la luz ha perdido su recaudo, allá en donde hemos de mirar en lo profundo y perdernos en el frío de los murmullos. Yo te lloro, Ayotzinapa, yo te escribo, Ayotzinapa. La poesía se llama El maestro sin esperanza. No sé cómo he llegado aquí. Siempre quise enseñar. Me gustaban los chicos, sobre todo los adolescentes. Tanta energía, tantas ganas de vivir, siempre cuestionando y arriesgándolo todo. No sé cómo empezó. Fueron años de querer ganarle a la ignorancia y a la falta de oportunidades. Fueron años irreconciliables con sistemas educativos obsoletos. Perder irremediablemente al pragmatismo, que ocupando los rincones más lejanos desplaza el conocimiento, los deseos de descubrir, que ahoga el asombro ante la palabra viva, el éxtasis de la música y la danza, el poder del teatro y la pintura. Fueron las puertas que se cierran, las preguntas sin respuestas. Fue Gloria Osiris llorando, abrazada a mi cintura, porque la han encontrado besándose en los pasillos y ahora su madre le grita: ¡eres una puta! La consejera presenta los cargos. El director firma la expulsión. Y yo estoy sola en este salón. Como si solo yo pudiera ver tus ojos, tu llanto, tu tristeza y tu desesperación. Y esta carta: maestra, por favor, nunca cambie. O tal vez fuiste tú, Elena Dorado, cuando me llamaron del Hospital General porque te habías cortado las venas y no tenías a nadie más que a esta pobre maestra. O tal vez tú, bisnieto del revolucionario Sandino, cuando morías en las calles de este barrio, agarrándote la herida. La gente gritaba, las sirenas se herían, y el sol se mezclaba con el aire, con el polvo y con tu dulzura de joven caído. O tal vez tú, Anita Martínez, defendiendo a tu madre cuando te ha defraudado tantas veces. O tú, Rodrigo González, cuando te llevaron preso a la cárcel de mayores. O tú, Evelyn Hernández, cuando me diste un regalo de Día de las Madres y después te fuiste enamorada a morir en la bahía con tus 2 hijos enredados en el alma. O tal vez tus ojos perdidos en Bellevue, o este dolor de la indiferencia ante tu hermano, o esta lápida enorme de opresión, o estas ganas tontas de salvar a todos. Hoy amaneció lloviendo, círculos flotantes de cuarzo y carmesí, despojos de una otrora muy anterior a ti. Entremos en la ronda, escarbemos la caverna, indaguemos el olvido. La tierra abre sus alas, cataplum, tatán. Silencio. Hoy amaneció lloviendo y hace frío. Los muertos de Hiroshima, los campos de concentración nazi, los inmigrantes cruzando las fronteras, africanos en los mares, los abortos ilegales, el genocidio americano, las fuerzas de los narcos. Y no tolero que me digas que así lo quiso Dios. Y no me importa si a ti te cuida Dios y tira el desamparo a todos los demás. Y no me importa si existe otra vida, ni la reencarnación, ni los propósitos rebuscados de los dioses. Y no me importa el sacrosanto y tradicional Día de los Muertos, ni la cosmovisión mesoamericana del asunto, ni nuestros ancestros, ni nuestras costumbres. Hay muertos que no debieran estar muertos. Hay muertos arrancados de los vivos. Hay muertos que permanecerán para siempre en la memoria, que nos escupirán en la cara hasta el cansancio, que nos gritarán aunque no oigamos. que este mundo debiera ser de otra manera y que su muerte debió haber sido de otra muerte. Dos poemas más. Este poema que escribí del Día de los Muertos era una época en que estaba yo muy enojada. Bueno, se puede notar que estoy medio enojada casi siempre. No, casi siempre. Cuando escribo estoy enojada, cuando ando por la vida estoy contenta. Pero fue Alex Nieto. Era como una bofetada y una patada, y todas las que tenemos hijos de esa edad, que han crecido en este barrio, fue demasiado. Por eso escribí. Y después todos celebrando el Día de los Muertos, y entonces yo bien enojada. Anyway, ok. Dos más. No puedo decir que entiendo a los poetas, que puedo conocer el dolor de Vallejo y sus dolores más allá del odio de Dios. Ni quiero, ni puedo siquiera imaginar el delirio de Lorca ante el franquismo enardecido, o a Bretón aprisionado, o a Danton asesinado, o a Sor Juana despojada de sus libros. No puedo. Pero a veces siento este dolor, de mares profundos de pueblos sin rumbo, de días como hoy, en que las voces quebrantadas de mis compañeros, por el oprobio innombrable contra lo más querido, contra lo más sagrado, contra aquello que cualquiera debiera gritar enardecido, pegan fuerte y desazonan. Días como hoy, que esta ciudad, este país y este mundo retoman su color y su locura. Días como hoy, en el que mi corazón se une a otros corazones, en la búsqueda profunda del final de la injusticia, porque los hombres, las mujeres y los niños de mi tierra, sí, de mi tierra, no pueden andar por la calle con grilletes. No pueden. Y no es más una consigna, y no es más algún deber, ni una táctica, ni la cadena que nos lleva a las estrategias finales de nosotros los revolucionarios. Hay días como hoy que el dolor opaca toda eventualidad, toda pretensión de que la vida es tan solo la vida, toda posibilidad de pausa, todo espacio en el espacio de ceguera y somnolencia. Hay días como hoy en que el dolor tortura, alienta, sofoca, impulsa, asfixia y lo transforma todo. Ese poema relaciona la crisis en la frontera y los niños encarcelados, ya pasan años, y toda nuestra gente que anda con el famoso brazalete en la pierna. Y este es a mi México, porque ustedes saben que muchas cosas han pasado. Yo llegué aquí en el 87 y México se ha transformado. Y uno vive así, acostumbrado al haber nacido en la tierra de los dioses, Teotihuacán imponente en la planicie. Y uno se acostumbra a que somos la raza cósmica y que palpamos nuestra historia con la piel. Y uno se acostumbra a Juana de Asbaje, a Benito Juárez, a Emiliano Zapata, a Francisco Villa, a Juan Rulfo, a Carlos Fuentes, a Octavio Paz, a Emilio Carvellido, a María Félix, a Frida Kahlo, a Diego Rivera, a ¡Viva México, cabrones! Y uno se acostumbra a caminar erguido, orgulloso de haber nacido en la tierra mexicana. Sí, en tierra de valientes, en tierra de poetas. Y uno se acostumbra a la Biblioteca Nacional, a la Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México, al Politécnico Nacional, al Museo de Antropología, a San Juan de Ulúa, al Cervantino guanajuatense, a la Morelia adoquinada, a Tasco en la montaña, a Xochimilco y sus chalupas, a las aguas bravas del Pacífico, a las aguas tibias del Atlántico, al 3 veces heroico puerto de Veracruz. Y es que uno se acostumbra al mercado bullicioso, ese de Huitlacoche y de flor de calabaza, a las ollas y rebozos, a la Sinfónica en huelga tocando en la explanada, a las ferias del libro, a Juan Gabriel en Bellas Artes, a la Guelaguetza, a los amorosos, a las meditaciones bajo el umbral, a la tierra mojada, al águila sobre el nopal devorando una serpiente. Y es que uno.
Gracias, Berta, por la inspiración y por tus palabras tan fuertes y bellas. And now I would like to call up our very own Mission Girls. We have amazing nonprofits in San Francisco, and the Mission Neighborhood Center is one of our amazing nonprofits, and they have a program, Mission Girls, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves and introduce our next video.
Hello, my name is Natalie Ortiz, and I worked at Mission Girls for a few years, and while I was there with Susana Rojas as my supervisor at the time, I just want to say thank you to Susana. I want to say thank you to Martina for allowing us to be up here. It is an honor and a privilege, and I'm just having older sisters that I can look up to, that I admire, and I think that Mission Girls is about sisterhood and about being mentors, you know, to our youth, but also like a lot of sisterhood there. I think that you will see that, and that you will in our songs that we wrote. So while I was there at Mission Girls, we did 2 songs. One was "We Are the Women," where Elisiana and Anna worked on that song, and then "On an Everyday," where Sara had a lot to do with that, as well as me coaching them through the writing process. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that, and I'm going to just pass it on to Sara.
Hi, I'm Sara. I was a participant of Mission Girls for 7 years, and I worked on both of the music videos. It was a great experience, and yeah, I grew a lot with Mission Girls, and I'm forever grateful for that. And thank you to Susana. She's mentored me personally, and I've grown a lot, and she's seen that.
Hi, my name is Anna Diazado, and I'm also part of this video, We Are the Women, and I'm a rapper for it. I'm also a former Mission Girls of I don't know how many years, but I'm an OG and like this new generation of Mission Girls as well, so it's been a while since I've been with Mission Girls. And I would also, I just want to give a really big shout out to Susana for really empowering us and pushing us forward through making this video, because I had a writer's block at some point making this video. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
My name is Elisiana, and I'm not sure how long I've been with Mission Girls either, but it's been a part of my life since the beginning, because my mom used to work at Mission Girls, and so I kind of grew up in it, and being able to have women to look up to, it's an amazing thing, you know, like having people that can relate to you and will share stories with you as you grow onto like womanhood and stuff. It definitely has changed my life and has always been a part of my life, and really makes me think of my choices. And till this day, I think of all the things that I've learned throughout Mission Girls, all of our workshops and such. And, you know, although this video doesn't really come across my mind all the time, because it was made a long time ago. So, but it was a really great experience then, and I think the message is still very relevant to this day, you know. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the video.
like I said, one of them is We Are the Women, and the other one is On an Everyday. And I would just like to say, I think the project was about also the process of writing these songs and the lyrics of these songs. They came up with those lyrics themselves. They wanted to talk about what they felt the media was saying about them. The only thing that they were saying about them, and they wanted to talk about something else that they felt was important to them. And so I'm grateful for this space where that you have provided, Martina, to where we can all just talk about our different points of views as women and just heal in our different ways. So I think that that was also part of the process. So thank you guys again.
Stop us now. Here we are, you can't stop us now. Every day I must confess, I wake up feeling just a little stressed, getting ready for a war of trends, thinking like I need to look a certain way. So I get up and look into the mirror, all I see is puffy eyes, messy hair, no makeup, can't live up, won't live up to your perfect ways. I love me just the way I am. I love me just the way I am. We are not who you think we are. We are strong and we're powerful. Not sure if you really know what I have to deal with on an everyday. Deal with on an everyday. Here we are, you can't stop us now. Here we are, you can't stop us now. Every day we fight for change. Can't let nobody make us feel ashamed. Media trying to trick our brain, always out to make us change. So sister, get up, let's fight this fight together. Don't give up, we must rise. Show that love, we got your back. That's a fact. Gonna help each other win and shine. I love me just the way I am. I love me just the way I am. We are not who you think we are. We are strong and we're powerful. Not sure if you really know what I have to deal with on an everyday. Deal with on an everyday.
Girl power's like a flower and we won't let it die. Virtuous ladies here and we want to fly. Treat me how I treat you. Respect me when I meet you. Yeah, we're lighting up this road. No, we will never give up. Educated ladies on a mission to thrive. Can't knock us down. No, you can't kill our drive. Beauty standards can't define me. I'm a beautiful queen and I love being me. Perfect man, perfect just the way I am. Confident in every way and I set my own trends. Nothing like the girls in the videos or magazines. Just me taking on the world. Heads up high and staying strong. Repping for the mission girls all day long.
We are not who you think we are. Oh, yeah. We are strong and we're powerful. Not sure if you really know what I have to deal with on an everyday. We are not who you think we are. We are strong and we're powerful. Not sure if you really know what I have to deal with on an everyday. Deal with on an everyday. Deal with on an everyday. Deal with on an everyday.
something. The media flushes down the strength of women, but women be winning and all of that hate we're consuming. Sexist men assuming and jumping to conclusions, but women be resuming and zooming. Whole slut thought is our definition. We are on a mission, not to change our self-appearance, but to rewrite our recognition. Both feet on the ground because I'm not lightheaded. I'm a young, educated woman that always acts intrepid. Women should be treated preciously. Don't mislead our generation, please. Beauty may be dangerous, intelligence is lethal. All women deserve the right to be equal. We are gonna restore women's rights, retrieval. Why can't we get along and act like normal people? Act like normal people.
We are the women of the world. We are the future that's untold. We are the women, we bring life to the world. We are the future, our future will unfold.
If I had a daughter, bruh, I would be tripping, I would be strict, asking her about the music she listening to. Understand the lyrics, don't you see that they dissing you too? Laying out a plan of stuff that they trying to get you to do. All these images engraved in brains of youngsters. One day they'll be grown adults amongst us. It's hard enough when you growing up with the hustlers. Customers, thieves, struggling teens could get their dreams smothered. The radio playing songs that treat them like dogs. Somewhere at the top of the hill, they eating like hogs. I know what can happen, that's why I don't see it like y'all. We gotta make sure that our youth are gonna be alright, y'all. Wish we were more responsible with who we talking to. It may not happen overnight, but it can start with you. Let's keep our young dreamers self-esteem up. Bad enough we leaving a mess that they gotta clean up.
We are the women of the world. We are the future that's untold. We are the women, we bring life to the world. We are the future, our future will unfold.
Is a female dog, not a woman, so y'all men just need to understand. Ladies are loyal, but not in a bad or sexual way. Hey, okay? Y'all be itching, glitching, and ditching. Y'all be calling us bitches and witches while y'all be ditching. Hello? Us women have two choices to go up or down. I choose to go up, up and away. I don't let no man bring me down to the ground. We ladies are loyal and royal. Hey, we educate and create.
We are the women. We are the future. We are the women of the world. We are the future that's untold. We are the women, we bring life to the world. We are the future, our future will unfold. We are the women, the future of the world. We are the future that's untold. We are the women, we bring life to the world. We are the future, our future will unfold.
Kids are growing up seeing the degradation happening to women and thinking it's all okay. Why? Because music tells us we have to be a certain way. Magazines tell us we have to look a certain way. Videos tell us that we are a certain way. But we are taking a stand. We are strong. We are women.
At this point, I would like to introduce Yenia Avery Jimenez, Nopales Madre.
Hi everyone, my name is Yenia Jimenez. You can follow me on Instagram, it's Nopales Madre. I am born and raised in San Francisco. I grew up in the projects of the Baby Hunters Point District. And I am working on my first self-published book. Keep an eye out for that on my Instagram as well as Facebook. My first piece will be called, it is called Entangled. I'm a little nervous, so, okay. My mind is a prison, this prison is a mind of its own, this unchained melody in my head is driving me insane. I feel that my brain is entangled and shambled. I've seen my brothers and children crying, bombs flying. It almost feels as if this imprisonment is spellbinding. You see, this corrupt justice system, this is a result of tyranny. This is the time for us to fight against the systemic minds. Together we shall unite. Together we shall rise. See, I have no peace of mind because I see all of the ugly sides of it. So tell me, how can I be at peace when there is no world peace? This next one is called Femicide, and I will perform it in Spanish, and then I will perform it in English. No me digas que me exprese cómo me siento y pienso, si me vas a decir que mi lengua es demasiado vulgar, que estoy en mis sentimientos por hablar sobre cómo el trabajo femenino no es gratis. Grito en nombre de todas las voces de mujeres que fueron silenciadas delante de mí. Su silencio resuena en mis oídos, nos tratan como que si estamos solo para parir hijos. Mis palabras hablan sobre las injusticias que nuestras hermanas enfrentan en una sociedad patriarcal. Nuestras mujeres siguen desaparecidas. Nuestras mujeres están siendo asesinadas. Todavía estamos buscando la paz de las mujeres quemadas, debido a una sociedad llena de patriarcado, donde no se habla de femicidio. Todavía hablamos de sus nombres, todavía estamos declarando a dónde están nuestras mujeres, a dónde están nuestras mujeres indígenas desaparecidas. Yo también estoy, conmigo también, nuestras mujeres han sido silenciadas y yo no toleraré que me digas que me quede callada. Porque mi lengua es como una espada cortando al machismo, la opresión de mis mujeres hablan con volúmenes. Thank you. Wow. So now I will recite the same poem, Femicide, but in English. Just wanted to translate. Don't tell me to speak my mind to then tell me my tongue is too vulgar. That I am in my feelings for speaking about how femme labor is not free. I yell on behalf of all the voices of women who were silenced before me. Their silence echoes in my eardrums. Too many of us are being treated as a damsel, not as knowledgeable. We are viewed as maids to bear children and remain quiet. My words speak volumes to the injustices our sisters face in a patriarchal society. Our women are still missing. Our women are being murdered. We are still searching for the peace of the women burnt because of a society filled with patriarchy. Where femicide isn't spoken of, we're still saying her name. We are still declaring where are missing black and brown girls. Where are our missing indigenous women? I too am with me too. Our women have been silenced and I will not tolerate it. Do not tell me that my tongue is too loud when our women's oppression speaks volumes. Thank you. This other one is called Warrior Blood. I come from warrior blood, tarnished by war and genocide. Poverty and pimonized a huge hole in my generation. I'm tired of our women being viewed as only a gender role. We are not damsels, I tell you, we are queens. I come from a lineage of mujeres who carry machetes and are armored with agua bendita. Soy bendecida to speak for the millions of women who have been silenced before me. I stand with the generations who are ready to fight against poverty and oppression. Con estos talones de hierro, I stand with mis mujeres. We're yelling now, femme labor is not free. I tell you that femme labor is not free. Did you hear me? I said femme labor is not free. In solidarity with our mujeres. That piece was inspired by my homegirl, Gata Salvaje merch. Check her out on Instagram. Instagram. I have one more that I will close with, and then I'll give the mic back to Martina. Where is it? I'm so sorry. This one's called Aguanile. Mujeres de mi barrio son águilas que bailan a los ritmos de aguanile. Cargo las recetas de mis abuelas con protección de los antepasados y mi agua de Florida. Somos el ritmo del hogar de educación y tradiciones. Oramos por nuestros pueblos y mujeres fuertes. Las llevo en mis venas y en mi corazón. Muchas gracias.
And now we are going to be watching a short film that was produced. It was written by Patricia Zamorano, our playwright and spoken word poet from Los Angeles, and it was produced by Rosa Lisbeth Navarrete and Laura Ballesteros. In 2014, we did this show, this very same show in Los Angeles, with some of the same artists that are in it this time, but we were in Los Angeles, and Patricia was kind enough to come and do some spoken word in our closing reception. And there was somebody in the audience that listened to this powerful monologue and produced a film as a result of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, are we ready for matriarchy?
My tongue is hot and poisonous. Reeling in memory, my voice strains out to be heard in a crowded room full of mad suffering. My own. My mother was dying right about this time, but way before that, she was beating the shit out of me. At times, I'm not okay with all that doesn't go my way. I have to stray from the dismay and make my way off from the stage. The curtain's coming down. There's no acting left to play. My mother thought I was a boy deep in her womb. And I wasn't having any of that. I was my mother's daughter, impure like the ground she stepped on. Caderona como mi abuela, mula hasta la chingada, stubborn as fuck, straight up chicana, surrendering myself to life. I love to play games of trickery and deceit, always finding meanings in crack houses, alleyways, and streets. Yo soy desmadrosa. Yo soy hija de Malincín. Soy mujer poderosa. Yo soy el viento que escuchas por las mañanas. I'm the wind whispering hymns and melodies. ¿Cómo es la vida? Decía mi madre. Because you see, I was always locked up. Pero la jefita never gave up on me. She was my savior. Hembra macha, black sheep. Era toda una mujer con los ovarios bien puestos. Nothing fazed my mother with a third-grade education. Ella era mi espalda. And believe you me, I needed that backup. Because you see, I was always up to no good. And my jefita, India mestiza, trenza larga, ojos de águila, unbreakable spirit, orgullosa hasta la chingada. Mi madre era el espíritu que cantaba por las mañanas. Sigue adelante y no te rajes, todo pasa. And you know, to this day, I haven't backed down. Y sigo adelante y no me rajo porque sí, todo pasa. Because of her, my jefita, I am the wind whispering hymns and melodies that were sung to me long, long ago. De una hembra bien macha. who showed me that there is no rehearsal. This is the real thing. Life is made up of what we give, what we take, and what we bring. No buttons to eject the regrets of past histories. Life is an ongoing theme of trials and tribulations. I dig deep into my five senses, not counting the six just yet. Where do I start? How do I begin to talk about a black sheep? My role model, mi madre, la jefa, la gran señora, ma. How did I do all those things to you? To me? I can't answer that. And yet I have all the answers locked up deep down inside of me. And my mom, fighting for her life in the burn ward of General Hospital, whispered to me long ago, "You don't have to explain. I've been here too many times before, just not to this degree. I'm burning, but none of this matters, 'cause this too will pass. All you have to know is I chose you, and you chose me." I was stunned, bursting out with "What?" confused and crying. I said "What?" and she went on, "It's okay. I'm dying. And I can hear you crying so loud. Lower your voice. Ma! Please, please, please don't die. Don't leave me." I cried once upon a time, long ago. It was Friday the 13th, and the powers that be were immersing mine and hers. Duality. My mother was baptizing me once again through a fiery initiation. But what is it to live if I couldn't have my mother beside me? That night, me and my sister had just gotten home. We went upstairs. I rolled up a joint. Not even a toke I had smoked. Not even a toke I had smoked. When the house went kaboom, running to the door, I opened it. A flame of fire was quickly engulfing the stairway, shutting the door behind me. Me and my sister went out the window, and a banshee was screeching far away, loudly. Not realizing the creature was my mother, shouting and hollering, "Pati, Pati, Tony, oh Tamijo, where is my son?" Oh shit. My baby brother was still in the house. I screamed through the window. He was 6 years old when I pulled him out. La Llorona, that had now become mi madre, saw all of her offspring's loins of her loins, and whatever power adrenaline she was on was gone, and she let go. She passed out. Ma? And how was I to know that that night would change me? I wasn't ready to take on the role of matriarchy.
¿Cómo es la vida?
But my jefita was down for the count, and I was howling like a wild woman, becoming mother, not knowing just yet, because as it was, I was out of control, a screaming banshee. Ma, how did I do all those things to you? And yet, that didn't matter. Because while she was burning, I was transforming. Life, death, incubating. I was fertile soil, a mucky root, India mestiza, and yes, hija de Malincin, straight up Chicana. My jefita was shedding serpent skin and scarred tissue. I am my mother's daughter, hija de la gran señora hembra macha, rebelling on what was to come. Overnight, I had become a guardian, a caretaker. I was angry. I didn't want this motherfucking job, this motherfucking role, because you see, at that very same time, I was transitioning into a life of crime that never came to be because the blood that ran through me didn't allow me to run away from my familia. I stepped up to the plate. I did. And my life was never the same. My life was never the same. 'Cause while she was dying, I was screaming, crying out to the heavens that my Father God must have heard me and decided to make us one. We both died a little that night. In that fire, I became duality. Living in two different worlds, struggling against my initiation, I was still slanging, holding down a job, putting food on the table, paying the bills, loving my siblings, and nursing my mother back to health. I became my mother's mother. It couldn't have been any other way because you see, I am my mother's daughter, straight up handling and persevering. It's what we do when we're raised by wolves. Lobas, cantadoras, sobadoras y madres de la tierra. And in my case, de una ranchera del estado de Jalisco, mi jefa. And may she continue flying in peace. Thank you.
Okay, and now I am going to bring up Marcy Valdivieso, who's going to introduce her contribution to the show. Marcy comes to us from the Bay Area.
Well, I come from the East Bay, I come from New York, I come from Chile, many different places in the world. And I bring to you today a celebration of one of the most memorable creators of music in Chile, Doña Violeta Parra. She was like Mexico's Frida Kahlo, an incredible creator who merits so much recognition, so much more than she already has. Violeta Parra is the writer, the composer of Gracias a la Vida, that song that you may have heard at some memorials, at some birthdays, at so many different occasions, but she's a creator of so many more things. She's an embroidery master, she was a ceramicist, she was a fighter for women's rights and for people's rights, and she was a collector of songs from the countryside. So this woman to us, to the people of South America, is one of our heroes, one of our sheroes. And we celebrate her through Cantos a Violeta Parra. We did a piece, mostly it's an audio piece, and it's upstairs, and I invite all of you to go listen to it. It has the beginning of El Gavilán, which is a song that she wrote, and then it has a poem by me and some musical accompaniment, as well as two pieces, two songs, fragments of songs that I've recorded. One written by Violeta Parra and another written by my father, Rafael Manriquez, for Violeta Parra, con Gracias a Violeta Parra. And now we're going to be reading one of the poems that I've written for Violeta. And it is called Violeta número 2. Niños, are you ready, you guys? Me pide palabras y melodías para celebrar tu canción, mientras me pregunto cómo poder viajar a aquellos caminos amados, para encontrarte a ti, para conocer la semilla candente y sentir los sollozos profundos envuelta en una honesta canción de amor. Y la canción que declara el dolor de mi gente, los casamientos y las muertes, la vida cotidiana contada en canción. Por la bella Violeta, con el alma en sus ojos y su canto aromado. La Violeta que sollozó el amor y sintió hasta el meollo el dolor de existir. con su canción conocida, su letra consabida, la melodía grabada en la conciencia. En esta noche, en esta tierra lejana, te busco en mi sangre violeta, y en mi sangre te encuentro violeta. En esta noche y en este momento, a 100 giros del sol, enredo mis dedos entre tus arpilleras. La violeta valiente, señora de Indoamérica, que dejó de lado a las princesas airosas. La violeta que nos buscó y nos encontró. La que nos cantó gracias a la vida. Canta, violeta del Carmen, entre las nubes de Ñuble, nuestra guitarrera andariega. Canta, violeta, en tu peña celestial, junto a Gabriela, Víctor, Shrek y Rafael. Comparte tu poesía de nuestros compañeros, las palabras de un pueblo antiguo. Canta, violeta, en mis cuerdas, préstame tu presencia, tu tenacidad, para mostrarle al mundo tu valor. Henchidos con la letra ardiente de una canción naciente, para grabar tu imagen en esta global red de la memoria colectiva, para alimentar la profunda raíz de mujer. Canta la viola para, canta la viola chilensis, cántame la canción del corazón. Gracias, viola para, gracias. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me dio sus leones que con todo sano, perfecto distinto, lo libró del blanco y el alto cielo su fondo gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado el oído en toda su ancho, dejando la noche y día, brillos canarios, martillos, turbinas, látigos, rostros y la voz tan tierna de mi bien amado. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado el corazón y agita su cuerpo cuando lo abrumo en centro humano, cuando miro al mundo tan lejos del mar, cuando miro al fondo de tus ojos claros. Gracias a la luna que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado la marcha de mis pies cansados, los anduve, ciudades y charcos, playas y desiertos, montañas y llanos, y la casa tuya, tu calle, tu patio. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado el llanto, vacío distinto, dicha de quebranto, los dos materiales que formó mi canto y el canto de ustedes que es el mismo canto y el canto de todos que es mi propio canto. Gracias a esta vida que me ha dado tanto. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado Okay, so I do have a version of the poem I read earlier in English, and let me go to that. If you guys want to play some just incidental music, I'd love that. Words and melodies were requested to celebrate your song. While I question how I will travel those roads that you traveled through to find you, to know this burning seed and feel the deeply rooted tears, wrapped in your honest song of love and the song that states the pain of my people, the marriages and death, our daily lives recounted by song, by the beautiful Violeta with her soulful eyes and the song of our humanity. The violet who wept in love and felt the pain of existence to her marrow. With her known song, her lyrics renowned, the melody recorded in our conscience. Tonight, in this faraway land, I search for you, Violeta, in my blood, and I find you, Violeta, in my blood. Tonight, in this moment, at 100 turns around the sun, my fingers tangle into your embroidery. Violeta who searched and found us, who sang for us in her Gracias a la Vida. Sing, Violeta del Carmen, among the clouds of Ñuble, our wandering guitarist. Sing, Violeta, in your celestial gathering with Gabriela, Victor, Schrenke, Rafael. Sing your poetry from the fields of Chile, the words of ancient people. Sing, Violeta, in my strings, and loan me your charisma, your tenacity, to show the world your worth. Filled to the brim with the ardent words of nascent songs, will record your image in the global network of our collective memory. To feed the profound roots of woman, sing Violeta. Sing Violeta Chilensis. Sing the song of our hearts. Gracias a ti, Violeta. Gracias a Violeta Parra. I just want to thank my two wonderful accompanists. They're great. We need allies. We need lots of wonderful male allies like these two young people. Arturo, gracias Arturo.
He's a de Pantleo. Went to high school with him back in LA. All right, we need allies. We need men, women, all people. We need to come together. This is an inclusive show, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about was in the 70s. You know, during the movimiento, we didn't have the language that we have today, the inclusive language, and so and we needed spaces where we just had women, because we weren't accepted. The Latino artists were being turned down everywhere. So I'm really grateful to Mission Cultural Center for Latino Arts and for the visionary leaders that were the founders of this beautiful theater and gallery. They created this space so that we could have a location where we could express ourselves creatively and show our work and express ourselves. The Solo Mujeres show was started 33 years ago to give women a space to show their work. Here we are in 2020, and we still need a place to show our work. We still need allies. This is our gallery. This is our theater. Thank you for supporting it. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Angelica, for allowing us to be here, for supporting the work of our community. It is so important to keep our cultural centers alive because we have a lot to say. We have a lot to do. I want to thank all of the supporters, all of the people that donated money so that we could bring the artists to this show. Things are not free. And it's beautiful when we can all be under the same roof. And I am so grateful to every single sponsor that donated, that said yes. To every Facebook donor that said yes. To the wonderful foundations, the San Francisco Arts Commission, and all of the funders that support Mission Cultural Center for Latino Arts. We must keep our centers alive. Our tongues will not be contained. No nos van a cortar la lengua. Vamos a seguir gritando y hablando y vamos a seguir aquí en la misión y en todos los lugares donde nosotros vivimos y no nos moverán. No nos van a mover. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. And now, I would like to introduce one of our very own poets, Simone.
My name is Simone Padilla-Jacques, and I'm from the Mission. I'm Afro-Chicana, and I'm very grateful to be here and for Martina to have held this space for us because, like she said, we still need it, and we're still here, and we're not going anywhere. Thank you for just the mujeres who came before me, my abuela, my mom, my primas, my homegirls who are here for me. Like, this is why I do poetry, is for y'all and for me and to preserve myself. The first poem that I'm going to be doing is titled Joy.
The moments where I felt like I could fly. Were the sweet Sundays when we saw the sunrise, and if I missed it on a bad day, the sun salutations turned into moon salutations. Baths and decoding secrets, bonding over a blunt smoke, filling my lungs and exhaling loves, the joint leaves my homegirl's fingertips. When comfort was our playground, my adventure was our friendship, not feeling the need to speak because you already knew me better than words could describe. This is years of love. My unfinished poems. Somehow I find more joy in the short and sweet than long-lasting contentment. Somehow I've only been writing about finished journeys. And maybe that's why everything's been sounding the same, not only written about pain. Someone told me to write about my joy. To resolve my words instead of reminiscing in the lost child in me, instead of allowing the breath I speak to no longer resonate with me. My art's sacred. It is not meant for living in previous pain. And my poems were an altar my sisters and I would be the ones I pray to. Somos la arte, la visiones, and our presence, our physicality, offerings of love. Joy without question, my moments of unconscious consciousness, the truth is the truth is the truth, no transition necessary. Where interpretation is never a necessity but careless joy in the act of simply being, the moments where I don't analyze my worth but feel it. The way I catch my own attention and my reflection after a bath and the shea butter on my chest makes my nameplate lay like silk. When I look in the mirror and see comfort in my naked self, joy is the way I look like an auntie. From a headscarf or rings on my fingers to the way fine honey golds have always looked so good on my skin. How I wear it and it doesn't wear me, not out of materialism, but how I wrap myself is encrusted and admired. Joy. I can't believe there was a time when nobody knew how to do my hair. Now every other day I sit in my room listening to oldies and Erica coating my curls, oiling my scalp. And I sit in my joy. It's not something you can buy or own, but something you are after years of lost love. I'm married to my nenas and my comadres, and my name will forever be Mija. That was the first one. Just growing up in a household with 3 different generations of women and trying to show love to one another in a way that we don't necessarily always understand because we've been through different experiences in our different generations as women. But at the root of it, we're still Mujeres who, we're trying to show love to one another. That's what we do as women. This one's called Love Languages. I think a lot about the hidden messages in my grandmother's misplaced love. When you tell her you're sad, and her reply is, "Porque si tienes todo." What she truly meant is, don't let your sadness mask the essence of life, and I wonder what other messages about trauma and truths about survival got mistranslated along the way. Love languages. My abuela taught me Spanish to avoid persecution. With Spanish, I never had to pause or hold my breath looking for the right words to explain my connection with Mother Earth. With English, there is no option but Western concepts. My vernacular seems foreign, colonizing my tongue to speak the very opposite. With Spanish, everything is romantic. Articulate is no longer a thought, but a feeling like the way my R's roll. Someone said you have to actively choose happiness when you're fighting generational curses. What I am not is my ability to create or the tenacity in my tone. I am not my capacity to put your words together, realizing that I've been saying articulate instead of intelligent. They said, fuck calling you pretty for a black girl, I'm gonna call you smart for a black girl. Nobody ever told me to be everything I wanted, but to sacrifice and prioritize. You can't have hoops with a dark complexion, it's either brains or acrylic nails. Pick one. If you don't choose, I'll choose one for you and give you nothing. Because I'm stingy and selfish for wanting to be more than a mother, more than a wife. Listening to Lila Downs with my abuela. My tia's laughter. Sharing stories of ingrainment they carry in their girls and us. To learn our worth and not make the same mistakes they did, only they weren't mistakes, they just lacked choice. The right to dignity and their narratives and ownership of their bodies. She bare children for the sake of her espíritu. And she bore me for the sake of honoring the women who came before me. If you listen to her tongue, if you listen to my tongue, you can hear my grandmother. The strength in her sharpness. And all the things she never got to say. Thank you.
I'd like to call the women that and men that that made this dream possible, that are here today. I'd like to call the artists that are present. Leila Mansour, please come up to the stage so that they could see who you are. Alejandra Palos, come up to the stage. Silvia Ledesma, come up to the stage. Emilia Garcia, come up to the stage. Come up to the stage. Berta Hernandez, come up to the stage. Yenia Avery, Mujeres, come up to the stage. Simone Jacques, come up to the stage. Manuel Breas, come up to the stage. ¿Quién más está aquí que no veo? Isis, is she here? Erica Friend. Isis Rodriguez, come up to the stage. What other artists are here because I can't see. Come on up. I want you to see just a small sampling of the artists that made this night possible. We are ending the first part of our show, and now we are, once they introduce each other, I'm going to let them talk a little, very briefly, just your name, where you're from, maybe a word or two, Marcy, and just to say something to the audience. You're going to see their work upstairs, the beautiful, amazing work. Before I give the mic to them, I just want to thank Angelica Rodriguez, the gallery coordinator at Mission Cultural Center for Latino Arts, who did an amazing job with, to help put this show together. She was a great support to me in making this happen. I want to thank Jenny Rodriguez from Mission Cultural Center for allowing us to have this show and for approving the selection of Martina La Latina as a curator. And I'd like to thank that wonderful woman that's holding the camera, Mara Hernandez, who's an amazing graphic designer here at Mission Cultural Center, and who's rolling with the punches and saying, okay, we can't have a regular opening night. Let's go live. Let's make this a watch party. And I really, really want to thank my husband, Alex Balmaceda. Without him, none of this would have happened. When we go upstairs, you'll see all the wonderful sponsors that have made this show possible. And Mr. Eric Mann, who's behind that camera, who always does an amazing job with film. So les voy a dar el micrófono para que digan unas cuantas palabras, and then after we leave here, we're going upstairs to the second floor to see the beautiful exhibit. And you are all invited to Radio Habana, and Leila will tell us where it's located, because after the exhibit, we're going to have a party there.
Thank you, Martina. I think we need to give her a much more. I'm Yenia Jimenez, born and raised in Bayview, Hunters Point, here in San Francisco. I just wanted to thank my mentora, Dr. Martina, Alex, and everyone. Mission Cultural Center. You can follow me on Instagram. My book is coming out very soon. It is Nopales Madre. It's spelled Nopales Madre. Thank you so much.
I am Leila Mansour. I guess I'm in this room as a co-founder of Radio Habana. A lot of people don't even know that I do art. Martina and Alex are amazing people. We need to find them a place to live. We do not want to lose these two from San Francisco. And I'm awestruck at the power of the art. Up there, I came in this afternoon. I was off in the corner. It's obvious.
My name is Simone Jacques. I'm very grateful to be here and us surrounded by so many amazing women and healers and have so many amazing women and friends like here supporting. I'm from the mission. I'm a mission girl. And that's who I am. I'm Afro-Chicana. So, like, yeah.
Hi, I'm Silvia Ledesma. I was born here in the Mission on Guerrero Street over 60 years ago. But I am no stranger to the Mission. Back in the 80s, I volunteered at this place a lot. I did artwork here too, and I have exhibited here at this place. And you know, my heart is always in San Francisco. And I'm so happy to be surrounded by young women and all these other artists, and I'm super thankful to Martina and Rodrigo out there. And I just want to say that we just need to keep luchando and creating, because we have it in our life, you know, we're very creative people. So we just keep on going. Young boys, you guys are amazing. I'm so impressed. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emilia Garcia. I was born in Los Angeles. I'm a Chicana artist. I
actually lived in Richmond for 5 years, so I feel like I come home whenever I visit San Francisco and the Bay. And I want to thank Martina for carrying on the show. Myself and a few other of my sisters here were in the original song Los Angeles, so I'm really thankful that you've been able to bring it to San Francisco, and hopefully we can take it on the road further. But thank to you for showcasing our work and supporting us. And I have 5 pieces in the show, and I hope that all of you come up and see the beautiful work of all of the artists here, and unfortunately of our friends and artists who were not able to make it, but we will support them in any way possible. And you can follow me on Instagram at Earth Tortilla. Thank you.
Hi, buenas tardes. My name is Ana Gachero. I was born and raised in Panama. And so my work is, I would call it spiritual abstraction. I've been on a journey of artistry, of art for over 25 years. My work has been transformed. It has transformed me. Right now I'm exploring a lot of fluid work, fluid media, and you'll see 4 of my pieces in the show. My work can also be seen on artfinder.com. Thank you.
Y pues ya saben, soy una poeta y también soy una teatrera. He hecho teatro en este barrio por más de 30 años, teatro callejero en este escenario muchísimas veces. Estoy muy contenta que Martina me haya invitado. Muchas gracias.
So my name is Erica Friend. I'm actually not from San Francisco. I'm from San Fernando Valley. Born in Northeast San Fernando Valley. I'm here with my twin sister. She's outside with me. We're vending right now, so thank you. Thank you for coming. And with the corona scare, I'm glad that some people came, and this trip was worth it. I got to see beautiful performances from many different people, different ages, and just it really touches me, and it really just makes me feel like I want to go create more. I'm not a poet. I'm just an artist. I have 1 piece in the show. It's going to be, for me, that piece was a very hard piece to make, because it's just a big collaborative of very different stuff, like different stories from different deities, different stories from, at least from what I've learned from my culture, and then also just adopting the style of relief sculptures and sculptures that I've seen in books. One day I'll get to go see them, but in this aspect I got to just create it to what I see it as, and I just hope you guys like it, and I'll pass the mic to you.
Hola a todos, yo me llamo Manuel, soy de Guadalajara, soy nuevo aquí. Muchas gracias por venir, gracias a todos, gracias a Martina, y nada, disfruten.
Gracias.
Que en el rostro porta tus penas.
Aliviame